horrible lighting. What's going on, guys? Sorry about the lighting. There we go. Happy Saturday to everybody. Can you guys all hear me okay? If you can't, let me know. I'm trying to set the camera up here. Oh, we got the dogs in the background. So what's going on Saturday for everybody? We got the puppies out here just hanging out, enjoying our Saturday. Just wanted to talk to you guys about owning your shit. That's what we're talking about today, and it's easier said than done. You know, when you guys are going through what you're going through, a lot of you are looking at a possible prison sentence and you're under federal indictment, and it's taking responsibility really tends to be one of the toughest things on what's going on. We all want to blame somebody else. Somebody told on us, you know, and the situation is, are you owning your shit? Are you taking responsibility for what's going on in your life? What could you have done differently looking back at the situation? Sure, we can all say how unfair it is. And sorry for how bad this light is, guys. I'm trying to get it adjusted. Maybe if I just turn this way. Here, let's turn the camera around. That's better. Trying to give you guys the cool background. All right, there we go. So trying to take responsibility for what you did is easier said than done. But a lot of you guys, you got to remember that what you did, you put yourself into a situation. You allowed yourself to either, in some cases, maybe you allowed yourself to be taken advantage of. But when you look back and you look at what could I have done differently, why was I taken advantage of? Who took advantage of me? What role did I play in the situation? It's a hard pill to swallow, because that's ultimately what put us here. You know, yes, you didn't murder anybody. Maybe you did. You know, you didn't murder, you didn't rape anybody. You're not out there killing people. And you look at it going, this isn't fair. I don't deserve this. You're not comparing yourself to the same type of a situation. So if you put yourself in the situation that you're supposed to be in, and you compare yourself to what was going on and the type of people that are like you that are also going through this, you'll realize there's absolutely nothing special about your situation. Zero. What do I mean by that? I mean, there's nothing special about you in the aspect of there's a million people just like you, just like me, that go to prison every single day. Good people make mistakes, make poor choices, and end up in prison. Doesn't mean you're a bad person, but it means you have to own your shit, and you have to realize that you could have done things differently. For some of us, it takes to going to federal prison. I was supposed to interview one of our clients earlier today, but we had some issues. I'm not at my house right now. I'm over at a friend's house. Lost power at my house. I wasn't able to do the interview, but he's getting ready to go into the prison system. He's already been sentenced. He was sentenced to 37 months. He was looking at more time than that. He was looking at, I think, around 60 months. And, you know, he's very content with his 37-month prison sentence. But at the same time, you know, there's still a lot of resentment there. He's still angry at the situation and wishing that he had made better choices, and wishing he had looked at the warning signals that were there earlier on in his situation. And he didn't, just like I chose to avoid my own situation. Somebody commented on my first video that I posted, the video of me getting ready to go to federal prison, and said, you know, Dan, I heard in your video you're talking about they didn't have any evidence against you, but you said they had such a good oral argument that that's why you decided to take your plea. Guys, I'm not here to say that the government doesn't play dirty too, and that, you know, it's not sometimes going to be an unfair playing field. The point that I try to drive home is taking responsibility for what we did is what's going to set us free. Sitting here going how broken the system is and how unfair it was and how they made things up and people lied and people misled. That might all be true. And that's why you have to focus on what can you do to not fall into this type of a situation again in the future. Life is full of sand pits. This is just another sand pit that you have to deal with. I'm going to bring this a little bit closer to me. So yeah, life is, you know, it's full of all of these types of traps that we have to deal with on a regular basis. And in my situation, we talked about my crime. I went to prison for my role in working at a pain clinic in Georgia. I was the office manager of working at a pain clinic. I was wrapped up in indictment with a dozen other people or more. And my initial reaction was, hey, we didn't actually break a law. So how in the world are you going to charge us and send us to prison? You know, and the reality is it doesn't matter. They did. They found a way. They said that we were running an illegal pain clinic, that we were writing prescriptions for non-medical purpose, even though they never actually proved that. They never said what law we actually broke. They said things like, didn't you think it was weird that patients were driving from different states to come and see you? Didn't you think it was odd that you guys didn't take insurance? Didn't you think it was odd that most of your clients paid in cash? Didn't you think it was odd that you guys paid the doctor in cash every single day? And my answer is yes. All of that was extremely fucking odd, but there was no law actually being broken. If they wanted to pass a law and make that illegal, well, that's what they could have done. That's what the government could have done, but they didn't. Instead, they charged us for running an illegal pill mill without actually having to prove what law was broken. So I had a choice. I was very bitter, very upset, even up until I went into prison. I was very pissed off at the role that I played. I was very pissed off that I got in trouble for this. I was very pissed off that I had to go to prison. I was extremely pissed off that Shelly had to go to prison. I was super mad that I had to say goodbye to my children, that I had to uproot my entire life and say goodbye. So I blamed everybody and everything and said, these dirty fucking feds, they just make up rules and they play by their own rules. Well, the reality is that's true. They do and they can. But what could I have done different? What writing was on the walls? Working in a doctor's office that sees patients coming from all over the place, different states, to come see this doctor. People were coming by the groves from Kentucky, Ohio, all the way to Georgia to see our doctor. So that right there should have told me, okay, something's probably up. Not that it was illegal, but clearly these people are coming to get their pain pills, even though they have valid MRIs and what validates an MRI, you know, what makes that valid. There was a bunch of loopholes that everybody found that wasn't tightened up, and that's how this was getting done. So instead of the government just closing those loopholes, they come in and they arrest, they create charges as they go, and then you're forced to deal with the consequences. So I had to make a choice once I was in prison. Once it was already said and done, I took my plea. If I'd gone to trial, I was looking at 15 to 20 years. I told you guys this story a million times, and my trouble started in 2011, wasn't indicted until 2013. So from 2011 to 2013, I was under federal investigation, knew I was looking at a ton of time. Finally, the indictment came down in 2013, fought it for another year. Early 2014, I decided, hey, I'm crazy if I try to go to trial with this. I'd be absolutely absurd to try to go to trial with this. So looking at the options on the table, taking a plea agreement that caps the amount of time they can give me to 60 months seemed like minimizing the casualty. So once I swallowed that, and then I got lucky and the judge downward departed from the 60 months down to the 42 months. And once I got to prison, it became real clear that I needed to take responsibility for what I did to change my life, because I didn't want to put myself into a situation where control is completely out of my hands and it's in the hands of somebody else that might want to send me to prison. So when I say own your shit and take responsibility for what you did, it's not to say that it's always going to be fair and that you 100% deserve to go to prison. A lot of you are really good people that definitely don't deserve to go to prison. When I spoke over at Gonzaga Law, I spoke at Gonzaga University last week, a lot of the law students there were very adamant about how broken the system is and how, you know, we need to focus on sentencing guidelines and prison reform and We shouldn't be locking up people. It's like, I get it. And I understand that that is a big picture mission. But what are we doing with the here and now? What are we doing with the people that are already involved into the system to some extent? Not necessarily already in prison, but those of you that are out fighting right now. How are you dealing with your day-to-day? What are you doing to get through this? It's easy to throw your hands up and say, well, the government took advantage of me. As true as that is, you put yourself in harm's way, though. You made some sort of a disillusioned choice where you rationalized an irrational thought and made it a proper choice in your mind. And now that you're in trouble, you're looking to find a way out of it by playing the victim. Stop playing the victim. If you own your shit, it will set you free. I promise. It did it for me. It does it for so many other. We've got tons and tons of excited clients because they see potential in their future. We're going to start really interviewing some more of our clients that are really taking the whole entrepreneur aspect and taking this and turning it into something positive, because that's one of your choices that you have. Rhonda, thank you very much. Rhonda just gave us a $10 donation. That's going to go a long way for somebody's commissary. Do you know anything about IRS investigations? If you want to shoot me an email, Rhonda, rdapdan@gmail.com. That's rdapdan@gmail.com. I can definitely speak with you if you can give me more detail to find out of some information we can help you with. And if I can't, I can probably point you in the right direction. But I appreciate the $10 donation. Rhonda Overby, thank you very much. Every little penny helps. Any donations we receive, guys, we give this back to people that are in the prison system, that are suffering, that maybe don't have enough commissary, hygiene products, clothes, rice and beans, basic things that they might need, minutes for the phone, minutes for the email system to communicate with friends and loved ones. So sleep well. Rhonda's $10 is not going into my pocket. Not to mention YouTube takes like 40%. But we put the whole $10 into the client's commissary account. So thank you, Rhonda. But yeah, guys, it's, you know, I know it's easy to not take responsibility. It's not that you don't want to take responsibility. You get caught in this realm of it's not fair and I'm not a criminal. You know, I was talking to one of my clients today, and white collar guy, and he doesn't identify with somebody getting ready to go to prison because he's identifying or trying to relate himself to what society sees in the total viewpoint of what somebody looks like that goes to prison. You know, murderer, rapist, gang members, you know, high-end drugs, guns, child porn. So I'm like, stop relating yourself to those people. Relate yourself to the average person that makes a mistake. And 1 million good people every year make mistakes that go to prison. And it doesn't discriminate. Black, white, brown, purple, blue. We have clients of every race, every gender that goes to prison for very, very similar offenses. And whether you're rich, whether you're poor, first-time nonviolent offenders are going to deal with some extremely stressful experiences. Mike Winters, shout out. Mike Winters is a longtime client, still waiting for his. God, Mike, you've been with us for like 2 years now. Mike Winters just gave us a $10 donation. Highly appreciated, Mike. Every penny, again, goes a long way. So now we got $20 we're going to be giving back. Thanks, guys. Holidays are coming. People can purchase Christmas cards, all kinds of cool little gifts that they can throw in commissaries. So thank you, Mike. Rhonda, really appreciate you guys. Just over 2 years. Yeah, man. So, you know, we talk about different types of content, different types of videos, and I go back and look at some of my old videos and stuff that I used to talk about versus what I talk about now. And yeah, you know, the quality, the lighting, things like that have gotten better in my videos, but we try to stay true to what we believe. And I am so fucking blessed to be able to do this as a living and provide for my family and be able to give back to the community, go do things that I haven't been able to do in my entire life because I was too in my own way, too worried about my own, you know, my own survival, to where I never did the right thing for the right reasons. I was the type, sorry, it's a really loud car. How about that view, guys? That's why I was trying to get the view for you. We got an awesome view overlooking Spokane. Bloodhawk759, I remember you from somewhere. I don't know. I would need more to go on than that, Bloodhawk. We got CJ. Thanks, CJ. CJ's appreciating you guys for the donations. But I used to do the right thing for the wrong reasons. I used to do it because I thought it might make me look better. I didn't like to make myself look silly. I was always afraid of how I was going to look if I were to say or do something, or what people would judge me for. And I stopped caring. I stopped caring that I'm going to be judged. Some people are going to love me. Some people are going to hate me. Some people are not going to give two shits either way. But for the people that do find value in the work that we do, I'm not here to pretend to be an attorney. I'm not going to focus solely on telling you that we're only going to help white-collar individuals. Because as I've told you guys, white-collar individuals, blue-collar individuals, what's coming is coming, and it's the same type of prison setting. People think white-collar prisoners or white-collar individuals go to a different prison than everybody else. It's not true. It's based on your crime. You can make $10 an hour and be locked right up with a white-collar individual. Same thing, a white-collar individual, if his crime is severe enough, the money crime is high enough, the loss is enough, he's not going to do time in a camp. He's going to go to a low or a medium. You know, not all white-collar criminals go to camps. So I know that's and again, that's a justification. Because when you see it on TV or you hear about it, like, oh, this guy's only going to that prison. Well, you know, that's what his point. It's not because he has money. It's based on guidelines. It's based on the judicial system's current setup. And if you don't like it, go complain to your senator, because that's the only thing that's going to make changes. But if you do it for the right reason, guys, it all starts to fall in place. What are you doing with your time right now? How many of you are getting ready to face a possible federal prison sentence? Are you working on your personal narrative? Are you working on your character reference letters? Are you building a mentor group? Are you getting out in the community? Are you doing any of these things? Are you prepared for your PSR, your PSI interview? Do you know if you're going to qualify for RDAP? Do you know what you even need to do to qualify for RDAP? Do you know if you can get time off through Second Chance for additional halfway house? These are questions you should be asking yourself. And most importantly, do you know how to hold your attorney accountable? We just had an awesome interview with a federal probation office here locally in Eastern Washington, and they were very receptive to sitting down with me. They brought me in. They were very, very, very open and speaking openly about the issues at hand. They want to come on and talk to you guys on the YouTube channel. They want to share their insight, but there's a lot of red tape it's got to get through. It's got to be passed, basically. A couple of judges have to approve it before they're allowed to speak on a channel that ultimately is monetized, because people do pay us for our service. So that's one of the roadblocks. But he did put me in touch with some more local court system that deals with the federal side as well, that has way less red tape to deal with, that would also be very open to speaking with us. So on January 6th, I'm going to be going down to the Federal Defender's Office, and we're going to be speaking with a few members down there that are also very open to trying to bridge the gap so we can work more with people like federal attorneys and the system to bring you awareness of what's going on, so it can create this. Right now, there's so much distance. Everybody, it's like us versus them. It's people like me and you versus the federal system, or versus probation officers. It doesn't have to be like that. My federal probation officer, Chris Heinen, I don't know if I'm supposed to say your name on here, but fucking amazing. Couldn't ask for a better probation officer. And why do I say that? What makes Chris Heinen such a good probation officer? Was it because he let me do anything I want? Was it because he looked the other way when I was supposed to do the wrong thing? Absolutely not. That man held me more accountable than anybody else. If I would have sneezed in the wrong direction, he would have reported it. But anytime I had an issue, I was the first one to call him. If I had interaction with law enforcement, I don't care if I was at Dunkin' Donuts getting a cup of coffee and a cop asked me what time it was, I'm going to call Chris and be like, hey, I spoke to a police officer today. I was that person to always bring it to their attention first, and Chris gave me a level of respect for that. Chris did not have to allow me to do my YouTube channel. He could have said, it's too risky, it's too much paperwork for me, shut it down until you're off federal paper. And that would have been that. That would have been a wrap. He didn't have to approve this. And if that would have been the case, I would have had to deal with that, because that would have been a consequence. Even though I have passion, and this is absolutely all I can ever see myself doing, this and beyond. But he saw that this was something that I cared about. He saw that I was taking it seriously. He saw that I wasn't making a mockery of the system. I do discuss system issues. I do discuss that it's not perfect. But if you guys show me a perfect system, I'll show you it's a different universe. It doesn't exist here. I don't care where you're at, with the feds, the state, corporate, jobs, anywhere, school system. Nothing is perfect. There's always corruption. There's good and evil, and there's always going to be. Without good, evil can't exist, and without evil, good can't exist. The two will always try to devour the other, and the two can never devour one another. So it's always going to exist, and we have to come to terms with that. But what we do in our course, how much do we try to understand and bring that perspective into our own minds and really focus on that? And that's why we have such amazing relationships with our clients. Can we make everybody happy? Nope. We've got a client right now that's pretty upset. He's gone online and even posted about us. But I can tell you 100%, full confidence in everything that I say, that we can't help you more than you're willing to help yourself. If you're going to go into prison and not send us a core links, not respond to letters that we send, you give us a point of contact and your point of contact doesn't respond for over a year, no response, and yet we did help you get into RDAP, we did help you get time off, you reduced your sentence, you came home, then you call me up and say, I want my money back because you didn't help, but yet not once did you try to reach out to us, knowing that you have to add us to core links. I can't add you to core links. For those of you, when you get ready to go to prison, if you do not send us a core links request, we can't talk to you through core links until you send that request. We sent 2 letters, no response. Multiple emails to his point of contact, multiple phone calls, multiple text messages. The only time we ever heard a response was, I'll let him know that you're reaching out. That was it. And then never again. And then because we wouldn't give him a refund, and he even said, if you give me a refund, I'll go away. Really, what I think is he released from prison, was hurting. If he just would have came to me and said, Dan, I'm strapped. I was in a bad place in prison. I didn't get my mind right. I didn't take any advice that you or anybody else gave us. I'm really down and out of my luck. Is there any way you can help us out? That would have been a different story. But when you come at us sideways, I'm not going to be blackmailed or held hostage. I do this because I love to do it. If this gets political and people want to try to control me with fear of trying to ruin my reputation online, you can jump off a fucking cliff, because that will never happen. I'll let this business nosedive into the ground before I start swallowing my pride and doing things for the wrong reason, because that's not why I started this. I started this because I care. We can't make there's no magic wand. There's no recipe to making everything perfect. There is a roadmap to success, and it requires you, people watching me right now, to do what's hard. You have to be, I don't want to hear that you don't have time to do community service. I don't want to hear that you have to be driving around in your $30,000 or $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 car and you owe restitution. I don't want to hear this shit, because it doesn't help you help us help you. You have to be willing to put in the hard work and the effort. We're only going to give you suggestions and ideas of what work for other people. If you don't take those ideas and manifest them into your reality, it's all smoke and mirrors then. It's like, oh, Dan didn't help me. And I'm not going to do your community service for you. I'm not going to create your personal narrative without you putting the effort in and creating your draft. I'm not going to drive down to the prison and say, hey, Mr. Warden, so-and-so hasn't contacted me yet. I'm his prison consultant. I'm not here to babysit you. I'm here to help you help yourself. I'm here to tell you what you might not necessarily want to hear, and that's okay for you to feel uncomfortable and to feel challenged. But don't blame me when you're not willing to lift a finger. If you're thinking you're going to hire a prison consultant and that's just going to make your life all better, you should have realized when you hired your attorney, there's a reason why you're hiring a prison consultant. Your attorney is likely not giving you the answers that you're looking for. Your attorney is likely not doing what you thought they were going to do. Maybe they're not returning phone calls. And that's one thing. We return phone calls. We return phone calls. We return text messages. We return emails. As a matter of fact, at least twice a month, we send out random emails to everybody that's in our pipeline just to see where you're at. Specifically, if we haven't heard from you in a while and you've kind of gone off the grid, we know that happens. Sometimes you get down and out, you get into a funk, but we want to know because we care. If you do not respond, we can't help you. If you're going to pay somebody money to help you and then go away and then disappear and get upset, it's like you're putting yourself into the victim mode all over again. And here's how I imagine something manifesting in somebody's mind. Theoretically, you hire me, we're going to help you with your personal narrative, your character reference letters, we're going to help you build a mentor group, we're going to talk about what you need to do for your PSR, we're going to get you involved with life coaching with Jenny, go through all these ideas, and you're like, yes, 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 sounds amazing, can't wait to get started. You hire us, we have a couple of quick phone calls, everything sounds great, we send you some templates, we send you some questions we want you to answer, we put a little homework in front of you, and then you fall off the grid. We call you, you don't answer. We send you a couple text messages, you don't answer. So we set reminders, give them a call in 30 days, see where they're at. 30 days goes by, you call me. Dan, I haven't heard from you in a while. Getting a little worried. What's going on? I thought I was supposed to hear from you more. And I say to you, well, we'll just use a random name, Bob. Bob, have you worked on your personal narrative yet? Have you filled out the questions? Have you started building your mentor group? Have you followed any of the guidelines that we sent you? Well, no, I was going to work on that. Really what happened was you got anxious. Anxiety overwhelmed you because you knew you were supposed to do this the entire time. And now that you haven't done it, you're feeling a little frustrated and you need to find an avenue to vent. So what do? You call up Dan. You're like, hey, I'm upset. You point that anger towards us at first until we talk and say, look, Bob, you knew that this was going to require work and effort from your side. If you weren't willing to put in that work and effort, why did you hire us to begin with? 99% of the time, we get the same answer. I understand. I know. I'm struggling right now. It's really hard. And I get it. I get how hard it is, guys. I went through it. Trust me, I had plenty of nights where I didn't do shit, where I just buried my head in the pillow, buried my head in the TV, buried my head in the clouds, drank myself to sleep, smoked as much weed as I could just to forget about everything. I understand that's where you're at. But I'm telling you, that is what's going to cause you to get kicked in the face, sentenced to either the guidelines or higher, really start ruining your chance of anything like probation, even ruining your chance for things like maybe RDAP, an additional halfway house time, because you haven't done anything exceptional to show the judge that you're different from everybody else that looks just like you. Stop thinking you're special. Stop thinking the judge is going to look at you and go, you're a good guy, you don't deserve to go to prison. Or you're a good woman, you don't deserve to go to prison. The judge isn't going to feel bad for you because you've got kids that need you at home. The judge isn't going to feel bad because you've got a sick or dying mother at home or a father. The judge isn't going to care about those things because you should have thought about that before you did what you did. What the judge is going to care about is what you do from this point forward. What type of character are you creating to show the judge the day you stand there in court? If you're willing to put in that type of work and that type of effort, then yes, you actually have a shot at a positive outcome. But no one should be willing to work harder than you are yourself. If you're expecting anybody, including us, to put in more work than what you're willing to put in, you're going to get shitty results and you're not going to be happy with my service. So don't waste your money. If you know you are going to procrastinate and put everything off and make us chase you, don't pay me your money because I'm not going to pay you back when you realize you're lazy after the fact. I'm not going to give you a refund because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. I'm going to tell you tough luck because I'm in business to help you. It takes time out of our day creating all of this. Everything we do for a client is created individually. We don't just send a blanket template out to everybody. It's done individual basis based on what your needs are. There's time and effort that goes into this. Jenny sets time aside every week to speak with you. So you have to be willing to put in that effort, guys. I can't tell you that enough. The weekend's here. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. You should be spending this time with your family, enjoying your time, figuring out what you're going to do. But most importantly, don't stop working. Own your shit and things get better. Sounds so simple, but yet it's so hard. Half Kiwi Entertainment. You live in Spokane. Half Kiwi Entertainment. How are you doing, Half Kiwi? I am live in Spokane. I'm in 5 Mile right now. 5 Mile Spokane. It's great out. Weather's cool. Just having a really good day, man. Saturdays are always nice. And I'm not letting little things get at me anymore. I'm not letting these little things that are outside of my control get at me. You shouldn't let them get at you either. You got to do and deal with what's within your control, and stop focusing on what's out of your control, and start making things happen. Make moves, guys. If your life sucks right now, figure out what sucks about it and let's work on it. Give me a call. My number, well, it's not on the screen right now because I'm recording from a remote location, so we're not in the office. But you can always call me, 509-434-4695. You can email me, ardapdan@gmail.com. My website's ardapdan.com, so if you forgot everything I just said, just remember ardapdan.com. All my contact information is there. Or you can go watch one of the other 400 videos I have out. All my contact information is on those videos as well. But we're here to help you. We're here to try to make your life a little easier, a little less stressful, but I'm not here to do the work for you. I'm here to guide you down a path that is proven to be successful and proven to offer guidance to create the best opportunity, the best possible outcome, and hopefully serve your time at the best possible location. All right, guys. Michael Sean Riley, what's going on, my man? Unless you guys got any other questions, that's all I got for you. I really do love all you guys. You know, sometimes I just got to let you guys know what's going on because, you know, what you're going through is very stressful. I get it. I don't want to take away any of the stress that you're going through. But I was there. I know what it's like. And I know what I could have done differently. If I could do it all over again, obviously I wouldn't commit my crime. But if I could go back to that point of what I could be doing while I was on pretrial supervision, there's a whole lot I'd be doing differently. And we try to preach that as much to you all so you don't have to make the same mistakes. And that you can have a better outcome than I had. Maybe not even go to prison. Maybe receive a probation sentence. That would be a beautiful thing. We've seen it happen several times with several clients. But those clients put in so much work, so much work. So mirror them, do the same thing, live every day like it's your last day, shoot for the stars, land on the moon, all those good things. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Mardap Dan, Federal Prison Time Consulting. I love every single one of you. As always, people have been, wait, we got a question. Thank you for the help. I was at level 27 and got 36 months. 36 months, pretty good at level 27. All right, guys, as I said, people helping people, communities method, one day at a time. I'll see you guys next week. And we're going to introduce you to a new client of ours next week, a husband and wife. We're going to start journaling their journey going through this whole pre-indictment situation and where they're at. So we're going to get to watch their whole ride. All right, guys, I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye, CJ.